I'm able to see things in other people that a lot of others don't see. It is like a potential. And usually when I point that out, I mean, I've had a whole life experience, but as soon as I point out your potential, for some reason it always got people really, really pissed off. But then they've always come back at me and said I was bang on. So it's been years for me to try and understand what it is that I see. But in this particular guy, enormous, enormous power. Um, and this video is about meditating, and we need to change the vibration um, from this hate vibration that's on the planet right now to a love vibration. Now, you got a lot of people talking about that, and all of them, from what I can see, have been basically full of shit. It's like 90% truth, 10% lie. And it's that 10% lie that creates. And that's basically why most of these people that write books about love energy and, meditating and all of that shit, it's like, look at their lives. It's usually they're people that have to make an awful lot of money, and that is your first sign. There is even one guy that apparently was really, really wealthy and wanted to make a shift in his life and do really, really good to humanity. And he wrote a book about his experience. And I guess he had gone to some guru out of India who told him, you can't help until you fix yourself first. You have zero comprehension of how to even help anybody. Your comprehension of helping other people is really warped. So, that's one of his biggest lessons is he had to heal himself. And this guy ended up, I was able to email him, have a little chat with him, and he was still pretty messed up. Still thinking he was doing something good for the planet, but still really, really, really messed up in his concept of what helping other people is about. And when you're dealing with an awful lot of frustration, you're about to lose all your stuff, and you hear somebody just be the love, there's nothing more aggravating than hearing somebody say, just be the love. Because just be the love doesn't buy the groceries. It solves zero problems, and usually the people that are saying, oh, just be the love, are the people that have a huge bank account where they can afford to buy their food. They got no problems that they need to solve, yet they think that they're experts in how to solve problems. It's like, you are the problem. And trying to communicate with these wealthy, insane people is next to impossible. They just don't seem to get it. Um, so I do support this concept. I do support that we do need to sit down and we do need to meditate and you do need to feel that love. It's not going to solve all the problems. That is not what I would ever, ever, ever suggest, that just be the love is going to solve the problems. The key thing that will solve any problem that we are dealing with on a global basis is transformation. You have to transform the problem that you're experiencing into the solution that you want to experience. And we're not really comprehending how solutions unfold. Solutions are invisible. Doesn't mean they're not there, you just can't see them. You can see the problem, you can feel the problem, but you can't feel the solution, you can't see the solution, you can't even comprehend what a solution actually looks like. So that, if anything, is the main thing. That is what we all need to do, is get masters at learning out how to transform problems into solutions. And sadly, the only way to know how to do that is you got to be in a loving state of mind. You've got to be in that loving um, feeling, because there is good and bad. There is like God and evil. There is that dynamics of the human experience and thought. where thought comes from, where you get that really good idea. Um, it's like there's, a library of infinite good information, and then there's a library of infinite negative information. You want to know how to do everything wrong? There's a library in how to do everything wrong. And we're tapping into that library of everything wrong right now. And the more angry, the more frustrated, you know, the more pissed off you are, trust without a doubt, you're being led into that library of everything that's wrong. And that's why these elites, these Alex Jones, anybody that's got money that's trying to wake you up, they're trying to keep you angry. They're trying to get that vibration that leads us towards doing every single thing that's wrong. So the only way that you can get that library of, okay, what is the solution? What is that good idea? What is a miracle? You actually have to be in that loving state. It's sort of, that's the key to open up that library. So it's twofold. You do have to be the love, but you also have to transform the problem into the solution. And that's why um, when I did even email this one guy that's like, oh, I want to help out the planet type of thing, I was I was still angry. I was really, really pissed off. So my communication skills obviously lacked, because if I was able to communicate effectively, then no matter how lost this guy would have been, I'd be able to introduce him to, oh, this is where you're going a little wrong. I would have been able to communicate a hell of a lot more productive and achieve the things that I wanted to achieve. So it's like, when I'll put a link to my friend's video, so have a look at it. um, when he's saying you have to get yourself into this loving state, try and remember what it was like for something good, and try and remember what it feels like. Guess what? You probably forgot what good feels like. You've probably been so angry for so long that you don't even know what good feels like. Um, that's what, like with me, it's like I used to love sitting on a beach. I don't love that anymore. It doesn't feel good to me anymore. Every single thing that I used to love is gone, and it's really, really hard to try and remember something. It's I've given birth to 4 kids, and trust me, it was painful. But to actually remember what that pain felt like, I can't remember. It's like within a month of giving birth, you forget what that pain is like until you're pregnant again, and you're like 2 seconds away from giving birth again. It's like, oh shit, I remember this pain. Why the hell did I do this a second time? I'm stupid, me did it 4 times. But I love my kids. And that is, somebody else had introduced, because trying to find that loving sensation, where was it? What can I remember? Um, that is more of what I tend to focus on, is how much I actually love my kids. And that is just so freaking enormous. There's nothing that I love more than my kids. So when you look at this guy's video, that's what I do, is I try to feel what it feels like to have that much love for something else, and then try and turn that into, do I love myself that much? And I don't. It's something that I've had to constantly work at and work at. So it's like, when you get yourself into that loving state, you're only going to be like, let's say, pure loving, unconditional love state is like a 10. So when you try and meditate or try to feel what it feels like to feel love, you're only going to get like a 0.555, percent. It's like, but that little bit more love than what you used to have yesterday opens up that library, so you'll get a little bit of information from that good library, but you're not going to get access to everything. Not until you constantly keep increasing that love sensation. The more you increase it, the more practice you get at it, then the bigger the library you have access to. So that's why you won't see change instantly. That's why you won't get an answer pop into your head instantly, because you have to constantly develop and improve what that love sensation for self is, especially if you're dealing with a hell of a lot of things that are would make you really angry, full of fear, all of those things. So that's kind of the logic behind it is it is not just being loved. Just being the love is going to be your worst friggin' enemy. It's why Wayne Dyer has cancer. There is a perfect example of a guy that's focus on just the positive, focus on just being the love, and you know, focus on just having good intentions. There's another rich guy that just doesn't seem to get it. And it will work in the short term, but cancer has a cost. And I've even seen Wayne Dyer on an interview where he says, every time my brain goes off into that negative direction, that's the time I go, oops, there goes my brain again. And he tries to not think of the negative shit. And that is not what you gotta do. That is the worst advice, and nobody will tell you. It's like you gotta face the enemy. Instead of running away from the enemy all the time, the problem, it's like face the problem, deal with the problem. What does the problem want? You know, the problems are always going to be inside you. So anything you give to your problem is something you actually give to yourself, which is a really foreign concept to most of us. So it is like be the love. But also, when your brain goes down that negative place, that's the time you're supposed to go and use your library. You know, it's like define it. Well, what's the problem? You know, give it a shape, give it a size, give it a color, make it a thing, something that's outside of yourself, and start having a conversation with it. I know that sounds really weird, but start asking it, what is it you want? You know, make it look like the big bad bear that's, the hell in your life. Get that outside of yourself and start having a conversation with it and face it. And using your intuition, if you're in that loving state, accessing the proper library, you'll find out what is it that you want, and it'll say something, and it'll probably be something completely immature, and just want you dead, or just want a whole pot, but then reason with it, find out, well, why would you want that? And it'll give you another reason, and just keep trying to understand the problem that is ultimately within yourself. That's another hard thing. You think everything is external, but everything is actually internal. And that's why you have to have that internal love sensation, not external love something else. You'll never ever be pleased if you have that external love without having it for self, because everything you're going to be doing would be from a source of anger, hate, fear, negative, whatever negative feeling you're feeling is what you will put out in the name of love. And it's like a lot of divorces happen out of love. Um, so that basically is, it's all about transformation. It's all about being aware, this awareness that we need to do, and this big, massive transformation. So give this, my buddy, a look at his video. It is really, really good. He is definitely on the same page as me that it is about transformation, although it wasn't mentioned in the video, and that's why I wanted to kind of make a response to it. That I know personally that when I was really pissed off, and if I heard somebody just say, be the love and let's meditate and we can make this massive shift, I'd be real pissed off at you, because I'd think that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So there is a little bit more information that needed to be added with that video, that it isn't about just being the love. But these are the first stages. And I'm telling you, this guy has massive, massive, massive power, that if you want to see objects move, if you want to see things happen, this guy has the power to do it. He's just starting to learn his own abilities right now. And I won't share with you what they are, but I've seen some pretty wild stuff of what he's able to do, and when he's ready to talk about it, I'm sure he will. But for now. I'd be listening to his channel, sub it, because if he's starting to make some videos, if he's starting to fall into this, it's going to be really great advice. He's the one that's helping me. He's meditating towards me. I need some healing still, and I can't do it alone, just like he can't do it alone. So we are in this together, and there is like a step-by-step plan. Peace out.